Y'all, dog, what's going on? Yeah, we gonna get us some white girls tonight.
I don't know what that means. All right, go. Fucking thing sucks!
Y'all, dog, what's going on? Yeah, we gonna get us some white girls tonight.
I don't know what that means. All right, go. Fuck! Fucking thing sucks!
Here we go.
Shouting. The OK sign was racist. So we're YouTube resources, 8 symbols database.
Yeah, we need the resources.
100%.
100%. Let's keep it 100%. 109, guys. Oh, yeah. I
12,
recognize that one.
13, 14.
I never
It's
used
just
to
every number.
Wow.
No, that one.
Wow.
18.
211 crew. More like 311 crew.
I'm
23.
311. Oh, 311 is racist?
well, 11 is gay because it's two dicks.
Yes.
But 3 gay makes you gay, gay, gay. Or
Yeah. Positive, negative.
Gay, 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 gay.
Oh, shit.
Negative, negative, positive.
This is my lucky number.
Yep.
You got 38.
This is you're a hammer skin.
This is all numbers? They're just like, let's get it out of the way. First, all these numbers are like
43.
They're prime numbers.
Yep.
No, this is just we haven't even gotten into letters.
Hell
Oh, arrow cross.
They're just different mutations of.
Wait a minute. This Brotherhood, there's three.
Mm-hmm.
Go back up. The hand symbol. This.
Yeah,
Oh,
I do this a lot. I'm always like Brotherhood, like that, right there.
Cool.
Circle.
We get the Mexican. I don't know what that is. Biohazard.
Oh, anything biohazardous is
Boots and
If
laces.
you wear laced boots, we got the bowl cut in there.
Is bowl cut in there?
Yep.
Whoa.
Hell
Dylan
yeah.
Roof bowl cut. Oh, it's just a bowl cut. It's just his hair.
That's insane.
It's your hair from the bowl cut videos.
I know.
It's not Dylan Bruce.
They got CJLs, Christopher John
Wait,
Lynch.
where?
No, it said CWB or something. BWC Chris.
Awesome.
Yeah, yours.
I think this is also called cool fashion brand logo hunting.
Cool
Yeah.
Coolshit.com.
Hate.
Hate.
What is that?
Yeah, no, it was
Hate Edge.
No, hate.
Total Shopping Network. HSN is one.
Yeah.
What's the Hammerskins again, obviously.
What's Hammerskins?
Hammerskin Nation. They put dog medicine on their hands.
That's what I thought it was gonna be.
Overwatch.
Oh, that's Wakanda.
We got
Who knew?
Cross.
Citizens Bank.
It's okay to be white. You can't say it's okay to be white. That's hateful.
Yep. We got In the Secret.
That's awesome.
Unfailing You. It's okay to be white. That's crazy.
That's really funny.
Hand sign. I like the peace sign.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like kind of like a cringy wigger. Like at Six Flags in front of like the Six Flags guy.
Love your race. Cool. I've heard people say that.
Indian people say that all the time. Good.
Mississippi. Yep. The Mississippi chapter.
Maha.
I forget about that.
I forgot how popular that phrase was with. Right.
My lasers. No race mixing. It's just, that's more of a concept.
Yeah. I don't think that's a symbol or a group. It's just sort of an idea.
Oh man.
A-okay. You know, it's funny. My ex-girlfriend has this tattooed on her, but it's for a band.
It's a tick.
Yeah.
Peckerwood.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
Wood. Epic.
Isn't that a white guy insult?
Peckerwood Midwest. That's just what they call white guys in prison sometimes. At least they sort of adopted it like the word
Human
or something.
You got classic Pepe from.
Peony, Public Enemy #1.
Wow. Penis. Penny.
Join Peony.
Pitbull. I like that Pitbull. The Pitbull symbol is
The Saxon Knights.
Those are the gay surprises.
We are the Saxon Knights.
Oh, we're the Saxonites. Get out of here,
They're-
smell like
You Anglo.
yeah. Six Gorillion.
These are funny because there's like really historical ones here, then there's just 4chan ones.
Wow.
I've seen like Mexican gangbangers do that.
That's like doves flying away.
And the good old, the standard.
No, shut it down. Happy Merchant.
Zelda? No!
Triskeli. Triskelion.
Just a line.
Triskelion. It's troll faces. You can't do those.
Now this is cool. I like flags. This is like this is a Norwegian flag.
Peter Steele.
Different.
He designed that. Very cool.
I like the one the Vinlander Social Club. It just sounds nice. More gay premise. We really got us nailed.
So ADL.
They got it all in there. Oh, there's one more page. We might as well just scroll through here. White Knights. Got White Knighting.
These gangs.
We got the White Lives. Oh, White Lives Matter. That's hateful. It's very extremely hateful, actually. WP. World Peace.
Well, they'll soon have a show on there called Real Peace.
Oh, Power.
Is it Power Show?
Let's see. Zyklon B.
Oh, we got Zog. That's where Zog slot comes from.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No, I didn't.
Could have asked me, I could have told you.
I'm gonna start a new fashion brand or a sports car brand.
Just go on that site and just kind of take bits and pieces of the.
Well, we do have to come up with I think we got to come up with a new name for World Peace too.
Okay. Just call the Sony Camcorder Show.
What about Extreme People?
Anti-Defamation League Symbols tab. Would be a good one.
See?
That guy's wife got killed after he talked about APAC on a TV show. You should call it that guy's wife's name.
Yeah. The Maggie Massey show or whatever.
The Maggie Massey story show. Question mark? Scratch head? Weird. Odd. ... Provocative. Look into this. Tired of this.
Yeah.
Tired of this. Car flipping time. We're tough. Remember, be tough. Act tough. React. Burn. Blow up.
Third try. The first one just had technical difficulties. The second one was funny. Like, I started off like really tired, and then all of a sudden I got energy. So third try. So yesterday was a pretty bad YouTube day, and I'm gonna make it everyone's problem. So before I start, Capture or Kill, comic book, Indiegogo, link is in the description. Last day, it was supposed to, I thought I had it set up so it was going to be available all Saturday, but today's the last day, so it's at 81% of the flexible goal, and we'll close midnight Central, 2 a.m. Pacific. So go check that out, and I'm watching Toast of London, and then, gosh, this looks so cool. How come nobody talks about this comic? Even if the story just sucks, like this art is freaking amazing. So, I understand that there isn't a single plug that you can pull to take YouTube down. I understand they have server farms in multiple different parts of the world, just in case there's an earthquake or a fire or a terror attack or something like that. I understand that. But if there was an ability just to unplug YouTube, which would also somehow delete all of, I would have done it yesterday, because there was such stupidity, specifically from men. Apparently YouTube was saved by this, I think it was a live stream by Sasha and somebody named Amanda. But the stupidity I saw from men on YouTube yesterday was unbelievable. So first off, do you remember the guy who went after Gary like a week ago? So he was being interviewed, and his voice was exactly like, what do you think his voice was? It's exactly that. Like, it's exactly what you think it will be. So he tried to connect Gary, Nerdrotic, to the riots in the UK. But then he tried to dial it back, but then dial it back in. He's like, I'm not saying it's a direct cause for it. I'm just saying it contributes to this type of atmosphere. I don't even know if Gary has a passport. And I understand that his videos can be viewed in the UK, but what? Like, you can't just say he's wrong, he's annoying. It has to be he somehow created a situation that led to riots in the UK. What the fuck? This is mental illness. Like, there's no other. This isn't like, oh, there's a difference of opinion. This is mental illness. I've dealt with a bunch of stalkers. They all think that they're heroes. They all think that they're knights vanquishing dragons, and they're just rubbing their own feces into a bathroom stall wall at a grocery store. But in their mind, great things, grand things. And then I saw a video asking, this was the title of, let me look it up, I forgot to get it right on my phone. It was talking about Batman Caped Crusader. And the question was, should this have happened? Something like this. Like, should this piece of art exist? And, oh my god, this drives me insane. It's a short video. And the first thing the host says to the co-host says, I haven't seen this. Have you? And the guy says, I haven't seen it either. That should have been a 6-second video. Okay, we both haven't seen this show, so. Now, I did a community post about this, and people were just tap dancing. They're like, well, it's a reaction video. Of course I haven't seen it. No, it wasn't a reaction video. They were literally debating the merits of whether a show should exist or not without bothering to see the show. The Batman Caped Crusader, specifically the scene from one episode where a female penguin is doing a cabaret lounge act, they have collectively spent, I would say, at least 10 hours over the last week on many live streams. 10 hours talking about a scene that they didn't watch. They just heard about it or saw clips. Into her schedule to watch several episodes of the show before giving an opinion. Just a review, not even debating whether it should exist or not. So, I mean, just the stupidity of connecting Gary to the riots in the UK and then hours later debating whether a show should exist between two guys who have talked about the show for 10 hours in the past week but didn't bother watching it. What? We need a war. We need a world war. We need massive casualties because men have never acted like this before. Like, this is supposed to be a woman thing. Just chatting with the gals, just chatting for hours today. Chat. Oh, let's check what the chat has to say. I know 3 things about my grandpa. I know 4 things about my dad. I saw a TikTok the other day where a woman was talking about when she was a kid, her mom would, if there was some argument, she would say, like, go ask your father about this. And then the woman said, why would I go talk to the angry stranger in the house? It's like, yes. That is what every man should be viewed as an angry stranger, not a chatty Cathy. Oh, I'm gonna go on a live stream for 4 hours, and then I have another one tonight, and in between I'm gonna be playing video games. Give me money while I play video games. No, front line, shredded by artillery. This is what needs to happen. How soon or how far away are we from these birthday party clowns selling their bathwater? Like, oh my god. So, the intelligent conversation of people who actually watch the show were 2 women, and I think Sasha is some sort of educator. She will use words like incongruent, like just casually, no pun intended, during a conversation. So one of the things that's fucking driving me nuts about the birthday party clowns, it's a couple things. Number one, all of these men are much more intelligent than they are currently acting. I've listened to their channels for years, especially during the lockdown, and I love their shows. Now, they're not exactly the intelligentsia, but they're like a Joe average guy who, oh, this guy really likes Star Trek, and this guy really likes Doctor Who, and this guy really likes Lord of the Rings. So they would all have their fields of expertise. So it's like, I know Lord of the Rings, okay, but this guy knows it really well, so you give that trust to them. But now, they're just loudmouth yokels just screaming catchphrases about things they don't even watch, about things that they are misconstruing on purpose most of the time. So people were saying like, well, why don't you just ignore these guys if you don't like them? Because I have to deal with their bullshit. They are poisoning the well every day, and then I have to deprogram people. The current thing they're saying is, Kate Crusader is so stupid because they made Penguin a really ugly woman, and then they had all of the men be attracted to her. I just literally rewatched the scene. Rewatched. That's a second watch. That's 2 more watches than you did, shouty man. So on the second watch, just to see if I missed anything, it was exactly the same as the first.
What the fuck?
One, Penguin is doing a cabaret act at her floating casino. Kind of like a drag act, not exactly, but it's in that realm of entertainment. She then goes out into the crowd, to which the men just think like, oh, isn't this so funny? Because it's a funny, how do people act at drag shows? They laugh. Everybody laughs. Oh, here comes the host. Oh, I hope they roast me. And so that's exactly what they're doing. You even have Flass and Harvey Bullock, and she comes over there and she's like doing this like flirty act, and they're laughing because it's funny. This gigantic, ugly woman in a cabaret act is acting like she's Marilyn Monroe. That's the joke. The joke is not, oh my gosh, they're so attracted to her. Years ago, I pointed out this SJW tactic that I labeled the one thing. The Daily Show basically perfected this. The Daily Show would find some politician, and they would do these marathon interviews. We're talking like 3 hours for like a 5-minute segment. The point was to talk to someone so long that they say something either untrue, even if it's by accident, even if it's just being wrong by accident, or they contradict themselves once. Then they clip it down to just like a couple of innocuous statements, and then the contradictory statement, and then they go, whoa, that was contradictory. If this person said one contradictory thing, that means every other thing they say isn't true. And I mean, The Daily Show and all those spin-offs, geez, like for 20 years, they just ground that same tactic over and over and over again. Just let someone talk for hours, find one thing they said that's true, that sounds bad out of context, that contradicts not just anything they said in that interview, contradicts anything they've ever said in their lives. And then they go, well, how can you trust this person? They said one thing that was wrong once. That means everything. And so the thing that's driving me fucking nuts is these guys are destroying, or attempting to destroy, poison the well, drive people away from something based off of one scene of a show they didn't even watch. And they do this over and over and over again. They did this for Ahsoka. They did this for Furiosa. They did this for Star Wars Outlaws. They destroy things. They're supposed to be critics. They used to be critics. They build themselves as critics, but they're just poisoning the well over and over and over again. Yesterday or the day before, I finally realized, besides just the chatty Cathy thing, just the effeminate chit-chatting thing, one of the things that drives me nuts about chats is that they manufacture consensus, and then they use that to get you in line. It's like, oh, you think this is good? Well, these 6 yokels who are working on a loading dock 5 years ago, they say it's the opposite. So you must be, what do you want to be on the out group? So they're just always oh, we all think this, we all say this, we all like this, we all don't like this. The other thing that's driving me absolutely nuts is the rules. So nobody talks about Dead Poets Society, the movie. Like, it was huge in what, like 1989? Like, you basically had to see it. So everyone went to go see it, especially if you were in high school at the time. Like, there would be field trips just to go see Dead Poets Society. Anyway, there's a one, well, actually it's kind of in a couple scenes, but one of the plot points is that there is this formula for judging poems, and like there's different metrics, and then you give a score for each one, I believe, and then you add up the score, and like this is presented as the most horrific, inhuman like concept that you're going to use like a spreadsheet to judge a poem. But what has worked its way out of the birthday party clown sphere into my comments and even into just kind of just like general conversation is all of these fake rules they've instituted. Number one, I've talked about this before, nobody asked for this. You're not King Joffrey, a sequel to Indiana Jones? Take this away! Like, who the fuck are you? It's, you don't, if you asked for something before it existed, you would be the creator of it. Like nobody asked for this, that's not a thing. And I even see like intelligent people use this phrase as like, I know where you got that from. That guy was working on a loading dock 5 years ago, and now you're repeating one of his witless phrases, nobody asked for this. You don't ask for artistic creations. They just happen, and you buy them, or you don't, or you enjoy them, or you don't. But asking for them isn't a thing. The other one is, this isn't necessary. That's the newest one. This isn't necessary. It's not necessary to have a female version of the Penguin. Well, it wasn't necessary to have a weird goth Tim Burton version of him either. Was it necessary for there to be a lanky gay version of him from Gotham? Like, this isn't water, sleep, or air. It's entertainment. None of it is technically necessary. And so they're talking out of both sides of the mouth. They're like, you should respect canon, and they don't know that Alfred looks like he did originally. If there are rules for art, I don't want it from some Joe Lunchpail shithead who just screams catchphrases. I want it from someone more educated, more talented. Most of these people aren't even creators. They're just some guy who, like, these guys were not making any kind of good money before. The first time their ad revenue plus their super chats went past 100,000, they said, I will literally do anything to keep this going. And that's what we've seen. We've seen almost every channel become a clown version of its even recent self from a few years ago. Lowest common denominator does it. It's just DEI, woke Kathleen Kennedy. Just that on repeat for hours. I went to one of these birthday party clowns. I was like, okay, let's see what their comments section is. It was invasion of the body snatchers. It was literally just people typing go woke, go broke. Variations of that. Kathleen Kennedy is bad. These people were not this stupid a few years ago. They weren't. I'm not saying it was any kind of Algonquin round table, but like, it's just the dumbest, most effeminate shit coming out of a bunch of men. And you're just like, go to Ukraine, choose a side, fly a drone. Oh my god, this is horrifying. It's just the worst shit. And like I said, it's poisoning the well of now everything is flipped. It's not, should I see this movie, yes or no? That's why I think Siskel and Ebert were so popular. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Thumbs up, you see it. Thumbs down, you don't see it. What is a 3 out of 5 stars? What is this? What is this? I'm doing fractions? Do I see a third of the movie, like 3/5 of the movie? What is this? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Do I see it? Do I not see it? Now it's not about that. Now it's about a contest to dislike it more. Well, I didn't see it for this reason. Well, I didn't see it for this reason. Cool. Nobody sees anything and everything is terrible. Because a bunch of blue-collar guys don't want to go back to their loading dock jobs. That's it. That's what it's all about. They don't want to go back to regular jobs. They found out that dumbed-down versions of 2018 talking points are popular with the normies. A lot of normies just discovered culture war like last year. Like they just found out what SJWs were. So all this like dumbed-down, really old talking points, it's new to them. It's like, have you heard about Kathleen Kennedy? She's bad. I remember when there was more than just she's bad. So, oh God, especially yesterday. I mean, again, this intelligent conversation between Sasha and Amanda, that was also yesterday. I didn't listen to it until this morning. But I want to apologize on behalf of YouTube, especially the men. Like it wasn't always this bad. And like how do you justify this? One of the things they always try to gaslight is, it's just people blowing off steam. You don't blow off steam for 6 to 10 hours every single day for 5 years. That's an obsession. That's not blowing off steam. Fucking, excuse me, fudging heck. Like, and there's no value. There's no value to this. Kid Crusader isn't a great show, but there's good episodes, there's good scenes. These yokels want nobody to watch any of it because they have some weird gay feud with Jar Jar Abrams. Isn't that funny, Jar Jar Abrams? Let me say it 20 more times, because it's just gonna get funnier each time. Jar Jar Abrams was funny like 2.5 times 5 to 10 years ago. First of all, he didn't even work on the movies that had Jar Jar in them. Second of all, and this is the other thing, they keep rewriting history. They're like, Jar Jar, why does Jar Jar Abrams get any work? Mission Impossible 3, Star Trek Into Darkness, Force Awakens made like almost $2 billion. You don't Super 8. You don't understand why he gets work. Well, I didn't like 2 things he did, therefore everything he's ever did was bad. Everyone liked Force Awakens. It wasn't that imaginative, but people liked it. Rise of Skywalker was not his fault. That was just go watch that. You will feel like you are tripping balls on acid. That I'm surprised we don't literally see Kathleen Kennedy on the screen, like just saying like no, we're gonna shoot it again. Like you can just tell he was just tortured. So you really, first of all, they always have some weirdly personal feud, like everyone. Somehow every company and every executive, just every one of my favorite things is they will do a video just based on an actor said something liberal. Did you know the guy who played Green Arrow? He's a Democrat. I would assume pretty much every actor is a Democrat and is liberal in America. But he doesn't support Trump. He doesn't have to. What is your point? None of you were this dumb even 2 years ago. So what happened is the normies finally found out about cancel culture, culture war, SJWs. They went to YouTube to learn more, just like I did in 2017, 2016. And now it's like, oh shit, loading dock Joey is gonna be able to afford a party barge. So all of art, all of creativity has to be sacrificed so some baby tooth yokel can buy an ATV. Fuck that. So I'm gonna be sitting here deprogramming every day what these fucking shitheads say as they try to poison the well. Anywho, Capture or Kill, comic book. Link is in the description. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.
Can't stop fucking yawning.
Yesterday on Point Devil Point, I was playing some clips of Stuttering John from his Thursday show. There's a couple that I didn't get to that I want to start off with because, as you guys know, John and Rob Saul have teamed up to become quite the comedy duo.
Snub. Uh-oh. Get ready for the Shuli, Joe. Hold on, Rob. Get ready for the Shuli. Get ready for the Shuli left. Here it comes.
Right.
Snub, I read in your yearbook you were voted likely to have a disease.
Most likely to have a disease. Yeah, probably. I need to look at him.
Well, if they make each other
So
happy.
fucking lame.
Yes, John, that does sum up what just happened pretty well right there. Remember when John thought he was going to do a show with me? Could you imagine?
He asked to do the creep off with me.
That's right. Yeah, as if he would ever prep for the creep off. It's insane.
Like you ever prep for the creep?
How dare you, sir? That's what I mean. It's hard. It's a lot of work. That's what I'm talking about.
I would love to see John pull clips and explain them.
Oh, I'd like to watch him. Rather than watch him on the creep off, I'd like to watch him prep for the creep off.
Yeah,
I want to see how he uses Google.
John IRL.
What types of things he types in there.
PEDOPHI.
Alright. You gotta love dead air on a show. It's always fun.
I'm gonna be 42 on August 17th.
I'm gonna try.
And now Johnny's distracted. And he's just either reading something or he's watching a movie.
Sorry. Just
Yeah?
get into the let's see.
Good stuff, man.
Trying to get out of buying Rob a present.
Right. Hey, oh shit, it's coming up. Alright, well, let's never talk about it again.
The breakup just got sped up.
Let's never talk about it again. Okay, fast forward to yesterday. Yesterday, Stuttering John starts off his show. Now, I've keyed on this for the past few months. The way his show starts is always a train wreck. It's incredible how bad he is at being prepared for when he hits go live.
Everybody knows that.
Holy crap! What happened to me? Oh no! I'm wearing the wrong color shirt.
This is my favorite.
He gets up to go change his shirt.
What happened?
Yeah, you can just see his entire background right through.
He was starting with confidence.
Yep. He always does. I don't know how he's not looking at his screen and seeing that.
Holy crap!
That's one of the funnier things that he does.
Did you pause it or is it still going? Did he just go change his shirt?
No, he yells.
He doesn't have another shirt.
He yells curse words. He does all this stupid thing he likes to do off.
He just puts on the other one of the wrong shirt because he's got
It'd be funny to put it inside out and get back like, shit, that doesn't work either. Now, there's concern. So Clay Dabler joins the show. And they're concerned about Rob Saul maybe switching teams. This is the
he's coming out?
This is the big news going on.
I think it's sus as fuck. John, these people. I think you and I have to interrogate him.
Well, is he coming on?
Yeah.
Is he? Oh, here he is. Seaman Soul.
What's up?
Bob, a lot of people very angry with you. They thought
They got
betrayed the Duke.
They got
He's another quad.
Yes, I betrayed the Duke by talking to Vince the lawyer and begging him to drop the lawsuit against Stuttering John. What a big friend.
What about DMing Kumia and begging him to come on your show? What about that?
So, Missy
The fuck?
mentioned at Point Devil Point that Anthony got a note from Rob Saul and he wanted Anthony to come on the show. Now, as you know, John doesn't like Anthony. John really doesn't like Vince the lawyer, suing him for $12.5 million. And here's Rob Saul booking those people to be on his show. He just had Vince the lawyer on his show the night before this. And so there's a lot of speculation that, like, oh, is Rob Saul going to be the next Quad founder, turning his back ever so slowly, as Quad does, on Stuttering John Melendez. And here is a term that I didn't even know existed.
See, what I'm worried about, Rob, is that it's only going to take shit work and Kumia to come up with some little work. Alright, so let's plan this now. The thing will happen that they'll be like, Kumia, message Rob, and we control John, and then you'll do some shit work on John. Because I don't see you as a real Melinda, Rob. Like, a couple of months ago,
He's not a real Melinda, bro. Clay Dadler is a real Melinda, bro. Not Rob.
A couple of months ago, you were slagging John off on the Twitter. Like every other one, you was on the bandwagon. But now, to further your YouTube channel, to further your...
Look, I consider John a friend now. I wouldn't do that. And I was thinking about the Kumia stuff when he brought it up, and it's like, I always thought Kumia was a talented and funny guy, but now I kind of was thinking about it today, and I was watching him just like talk about how great, and I'm like, wow, Kumia has really fallen. Like, I don't even know why I would ask him. He's been on the show before.
This is hilarious. This is backtracking
John's
Rob.
face right now.
Yeah, I know. He was like, you got some explaining to do, boy. Rob is backtracking. He just asked 2 days before this for Anthony to come on the show. And now he's going, yeah, you know, I didn't even like Anthony. I used to think he was funny, but now I think he's a jerk, and I wouldn't even talk to him ever again.
Amazing what 48 hours will do to you.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's the same thing that Chad Zumach went through when he found out that he wasn't in good graces with Anthony. He was like, well, Anthony's not even good. His network sucks, and everyone hates him. But both of these guys be on the show before.
Both of these guys are just waiting to set him up.
Yeah.
But yeah, like fuck Kumia, like with his new creepy glasses on, he's like, oh, the Uncle Rico show's so great, it's the best show ever. And I'm like, wow, I can't look up to this guy as a talent anymore because he's fallen so far from grace.
Well, that happened quick. He fell that far from grace in what? The last 36 hours? Wow. How's that possible?
So yeah, you know what? I uninvite Anthony Kumia from the show. He hasn't responded from when I initially invited him.
It doesn't matter.
To be honest.
I officially uninvited Anthony. You know, Missy came on Point Devil Point and said, yeah, Anthony's not doing your show, Rob. So you didn't need to uninvite him. It's already a done deal. But okay, we'll make it official for you. Do you see how much he's squirming here? And it's interesting. It's interesting that Clay is the one interrogating him. John's just sitting back and watching. And Vinny, to your point, what are the chances that both these guys turn on John?
100%.
Yeah, it is 100%.
Yeah, I think they're jockeying for position.
Right.
Yeah, like
You're doing the work. No, I'm doing the work. No, I'm doing the work.
You're fucking this up.
Yeah.
I'll quote Star Wars: "The Sith can only have one apprentice."
Yes. Is that what they said in Star Wars?
Isn't it?
I don't know.
The Sith they only have one apprentice. I don't know.
John is stupid. Is he falling for Rob's excuses here?
Well, let's find out because Rob is going to admit that having Vince the lawyer on his show maybe wasn't the best idea.
You know he's trolling you though, right? Actually, Vince is just a troll. Everything he says to you is a troll, dude.
Who?
Vince.
Oh, Vince. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, whatever. I mean, it was again. I was out drinking. I came home drinking on show. I wasn't making the best decisions last night, but even so, maybe bringing on Vince was not a great idea, especially without talking to my friend, because
I know you're trying to grow the channel and get monetized and shit. As soon as that happens, is John out the door when you get monetized? You're gonna come in with some porn bomb or some shit.
Blame it on the alcohol. That's ridiculous. I was making bad decisions. I was out drinking, and then they say, no, I invite Vince up the show when he comes out.
You didn't fuck Trisha Paytas. You don't need to give us the I was drunk excuse.
Yeah, he just had Vince on, which Vince is an interesting guest to have on. He's actively suing Stuttering John for $12.5 million.
Watching John's head there is making me wonder what's going on.
Well,
between those ears, Jerry Dust.
Howdy, whoever's watching me.
To Rob's show from the night before with Vince the lawyer on.
I just want to say if there's one excuse that John could relate to, I think that's why Rob is laying that on thick.
Very smart, because that's John's excuse for the things he said to Kate Meany. I'm 15 beers in. What are you going to do? I had an edible. That's what Rob said. I had an edible, too.
I mean, it's just, it is what it is. I'm not taking sides on here. I just wish you guys would patch things up. That's all.
Not taking sides. All right. Well, that's going to get you with John.
I'm right. You might be in favor of it.
Yeah. You don't want people to be
38, 32.
Wow. I bet you John didn't see that.
HP.
Oh, John didn't see any of this, of course. John's never prepared. He wanted Rob on to interrogate him, but he never actually watched this shit.
Things up, that's all.
I think eventually Rob will. People think it's a big work, but I didn't realize what he had posted about my biz. I don't want to keep publicizing what he did, but let's just say that we gave him an opportunity to resolve it before we found out what he did in terms of transferring the house to his mom. And now you'll see, I guess, tomorrow that there'll be someone else added to the lawsuit, unfortunately. And again, John.
So he's talking about adding John's mom, Osa, to the lawsuit, and Rob is reading his phone. This is an important element to the story. We're going to have Vince on to talk about this. Watch Rob not pay any attention.
John had it out. The attorneys called him when he asked for us to call him. They did, and his offer was basically, I'm going to see all your insurance documents, things like that, which was nonsensical. So when John ever thinks about what he did, he knows he had an opportunity. I didn't want to go this route. I gave him the opportunity to make a bona fide offer, and I gave him the time to get the thing paid, but he never did, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Whoops. I bet you when John.
Oh, he just stopped talking. I guess it's my turn to talk now.
When John got on the phone with the lawyers, he made about as much sense as a sovereign citizen getting pulled over by a cop.
Yeah.
I was traveling and I need to see your insurance officer.
According to the Constitution, you're not allowed to sue me when I'm in Florida.
I can transfer my home to whoever I please.
I do have to say, if someone was suing you for $12.5 million and you had them on your show,
39, 52.
Really, Vinny? You're gonna talk to this guy who's suing me for $12.5 million? That's kind of nuts.
Oh yeah, like the cut of his jib.
But you got to appreciate what Rob's saying here, because he wants to know what's it gonna take for Vince to drop the lawsuit.
Bullshit bang.
What will it take to get you to drop the lawsuit from John Melendez? Because I don't think you should be suing John.
I never wanted to. I mean, I can't explain what he did behind. There's something else that was going on. I don't know if he told you or not, but that's so he did something serious, which I had to retain a law. I have my own attorneys for this bullshit. So it would take probably at a minimal.
What up, Walt Edel? How you doing?
How much I had to spend for them, but
16th century Japanese society and 16th century
How you doing?
English society, and he makes them both out.
I'm all right. I'm editing this episode of Culturescape. I've had a consistent toothache for 3 days, and I probably need to go to the dentist. You're leaving Cyprus today for good, or are you just taking a trip?
He's trying to humiliate John, which is working. We all see how poor he is. Good job. Yeah, I mean, point made.
Thailand.
I thought that was interesting.
Are you moving there, or is this vacation?
I don't believe anything that says.
Right.
And he knows that Rob is currently in China.
Yeah.
Right.
I should go to the dentist, or I'm gonna have to get this tooth pulled instead of just fixed.
He at least knows that he has to play that part.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I could take any jokes.
Let's knock on wood. Hope that I haven't waited too long as it is. We were leaving for about 8 months. Wow. What are you gonna be doing there?
I don't know what happened, but everybody's like saying, "Oh, you're turning on John now," talking to Vince and whatever. But I'm saying, I just want to see.
He'll be fine with it. John, the one thing about John is he's very understanding. Like, if you go and say, "Look, Vince, I like Vince, and him and I got our own thing, but John, I still like you," he'll be fine with that completely.
All right, that's Vince doing his shtick right there.
We're leaving for 8 months. We are going to Thailand, Singapore, South Korea, Philippines, Indonesia, Japan, and more places. That's awesome.
Oh no, actually, he wasn't fine with it at all.
That's awesome.
He goes, "Hey, just give him a compliment. It'll all be fine."
Careful out there. Definitely don't bring any weed to Thailand. I think they won't kill you anymore, but they will lock you in prison for well over a decade. I think it's like 15 years. I was just reading about drug laws in Asia the other day.
Right, but not the real stuff. But it was funny because after this, Vince goes, "Yeah, when I was friendly with John, the worst part was the private phone calls I'd get. We'd have to run through his daily grievances with everybody. Everybody says that's the worst part of being friends with John is so.
It is? Maybe I was thinking of Singapore.
Everyone bows out.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say
Weed is legal in Thailand? No shit.
Let's see. I guess John.
Well, in that case, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, and have fun.
Out to be completely barbaric, and also both completely noble and beautiful, and like incommensurate with each other but capable of translation. And it's just like, what a beautiful work of art. And then you go back to the show and you're like, oh, now I understand that they've taken this, and they have, in their eyes, it falls short morally somehow. Like for them,
Hey, weed's legal in Chicagoland. Weed's legal in Illinois, so I'm all good. I don't think I'd even visit a state where weed isn't legal anymore. Having that anxiety of illegality lifted off of my shoulders, the weight of the anxiety is something I never want to go back to.
not, I don't know, anti-Western enough. And so they take it and they turn it into like this dumb.
That's why I take drugs
can't
on
get anything
stream
right.
every day
These
with
Japanese
no
people are always
fear.
And I just think like those kinds of not, I don't know, anti-Western enough. And so they take it and they turn it into like this dumb white guy can't get anything right, and these Japanese people are always correct, basically. And I just think like those kinds of changes, yes, like skilled artisans like the people that make Shogun kind of know how to do that.
Drugs are good, okay?
Together and looks good and generally will entertain and can cover their tracks more effectively than amateurs that like are really just pandering and like I don't really know the story behind that Kevin Costner series, but that sort of feels like what's going on. I don't know. Yeah, there's like an ineptitude and a ham-fistedness to the way that this gets done that makes it both easier to spot and critique, but also less effective if what you're trying to do is use art for political purposes.
Yes, and maybe someone like you could mediate between the two, but he's not getting away with just like a nothing thing. He's got
What you're trying to do is use art for political purposes.
How do you break that problem though? Is this just a thing of there's just not been enough repetition, they just don't have enough experience, so per se conservative media just keeps trying this over and over and over again, and eventually something just clicks and they get better at it? Yeah, maybe.
And he knows what he did, so I don't want to get into that. I don't even want to bash John. I like John, and I like you. I don't want to get into interfere in your relationship with him.
Well, I mean, it's just like, you know, John is just like, you know, I do a show. I consider him somewhat of a friend of mine, and we enjoy going on there, and I'm trying to
Honestly, that was the first time I believed Vince.
Yes,
Yeah,
he's very
For some reason, your drugs good MK didn't appear in the Restream chat, but I'm seeing it on this chat. I wonder if fucking Restream is editing out certain messages for me to be able to see.
Because of John's personality disorder, that stopped him from doing what he should have done with the intelligent thing to do. And Vince went on John's show for all of those months. He'd be like, now, John, if you were a narcissist, which you're not, but if you were a narcissist, you would do this, this, this. Pretty much saying you are a narcissist, but always saying the opposite. Here, he's just coming out and finally just saying.
Bound to what might be the most important and least sexy part of this, and that is education. Like, then
himself in all of this. So,
important and least sexy part of this, and that is education. Like, then you get.
Well, so what happened, Clay? I said, look, I'm not gonna trash you, but I do think because he was defending me as a 411 man who broke down Julie Agar. Thanks for the 5% Rob sold the thing from start to finish. He's a great friend to do now. Clay, now you saw Rob on the show.
I didn't see it. No, I haven't watched it.
Oh, because I did, and it was actually helpful to me considering some of the things that were said.
Oh, he was watching it for some
experience. So,
reasons.
per se, conservative media just keeps trying this over and over and over again, and eventually something just clicks and they get better at it.
And he was not
Yeah, maybe it might be about reps and like getting at bats, which is there. This is an area where you could feasibly say conservatives have been hard done by here because there was an increasingly narrow window of ideological points of view that were allowed even into these rooms. And this I do know from like my friends that have pitched in Hollywood and who I know to be good and skillful creators with good ideas, who like have seen people shut down in pitch meetings because of conservative views. And then you do think, well, okay, so then people never get the chance to work on movies, they never get trained, like very few people, whatever. It might be all of that. Also, though, I think a big part of it is just like friendly criticism of the kinds that you and I are sort of engaging in here, because it's very, very easy and tempting to want to endorse something, or at least not to criticize it. And sometimes you have. Sometimes this is just true. Like sometimes you just have to do this. But like, if something really pushes your buttons, supports, is on your team, it's really, really hard to be like, this doesn't do it for me. You know, like this doesn't get there. But you need a class of independent critics who can. Do that. Like, you need people that are going to be able to sort of say this and like ask for better, and you need audiences that are going to demand better too. And I think there we come down to what might be the most important and least sexy part of this, and that is education. Like, then you get into talking about like how do you train young people up.
I don't need that.
Well, here's one thing that I'll tell you, and Clay, I think, will attest to this.
People that are going to be able to sort of say this and like ask for better, and you need audiences that are going to demand better too. And I think there we come down to what might be the most important and least sexy part of this, and that is education. Like, then you get into talking about like how do you train young people up to read and experience not just classic literature but also pop culture in a like meaningful and sophisticated and a way with standards. And that is like probably the biggest portion of this, and the portion that nobody likes to talk about, because we are creators and we want to make stuff and we want to watch stuff and we want to do all that. But like, school is less exciting to think about, but it is also like probably the biggest portion of fixing this.
Yeah, and that's the hardest element. And this is one of my favorite parts of your essay. Is like really a lot of like really a lot of this just comes down to taste. But taste is really hard. It's just about impossible to try to describe. But it really is. It's just like, look, guys, I don't know what to tell you. The stuff you like just isn't very good. You're wrong.
Right.
Why am I itching? What the fuck happened to my arm?
Wait, you dig on multiverses?
Hello, movie phone? I'd like to know what the next showtime for Deadpool and Wolverine is.
Yo, dog, what's going on? Yeah, we gonna get us some black girls tonight.
I don't know what that means. All right, go. Fuck. Fucking thing sucks.
Yo, dog, what's going on? Yeah, we gonna get us some black girls tonight.
I don't know what that means. All right, go. Fuck.
A headache.
Fucking thing sucks.
Unto themselves, failed attempts at movies.
Right. Yeah,
inside
training.
studio
But I mean,
jokes,
you can train
the
taste. You can't
whole kit and caboodle.
you can't
You guys are
explain.
going to see this movie without being aware of the last like 20 years of comic book movies. This would be completely incomprehensible, right?
So I was thinking, like, given like how, like, you know, our recent dealings with Marvel and stuff like that is like how very like sensitive the Star Wars fans are to their stories and canon and characters and all that. And what if someone came along and made like not a Spaceballs kind of movie, but a Star Wars movie?
It's just like really violent and full of like swearing.
But it really is. It's just like, look, guys, I don't know what to tell you. The stuff you like isn't very good. You're wrong. Right. Yeah, training. But I mean, you can train taste. You can't explain taste, but you can train it, and that's an important distinction. Like, you can show somebody when you watch your first anime. If you are an anime lover, or if you have like an inclination to love anime, you're gonna go berserk over it, because it's like, what is this thing for the first time? It's like, I found this beautiful gemstone on the ground. And then by the time you've watched like 20 animes, you might look back on your first anime and be like, that's actually a really bad example. And this happens in every possible domain. You're like, everybody's got the one show or the one movie or one book that got them really into reading. And then they look back and it's like, that was not a good book, but I love it. You know, I have the session to it, but now I've trained my taste. And that definitely is a matter of getting reps in. That is like, you actually have to read a bunch of stuff, watch a bunch of stuff, like engage, as you've been saying, with the culture, and you will start to get that ear, just in the same way that as a musician you can start to hear microtones and differences in pitch. The more you listen, you can start to tell a Bach apart from a Mozart, and not just like classical apart from pop. You know, there's probably something about this that it has to do with like how much are we actually exposing ourselves to a wide range of examples and like a wide range of kinds of art. That somebody in a position of authority can say, like, this is good stuff, you know, you're gonna like this, you're gonna read a bunch of detective novels. And you do then need like a tradition and teachers and masters and objective standards and all of that, but you're right, gonna get to a place where you can be like, and this is how, here's the like 10 top tips for how you tell a beautiful painting from an ugly one. Like, that's sort of not how it works. But to go back to our earlier point about like shutting down for political reasons, like, you will never get those reps in if you see like a modernist painting and you just say modernism, bad, ugly, decadent, and then you will never learn to like understand what modernism is trying to do, to like critique modernism from within its tradition, and then to make meaningful and effective attacks on what you're actually probably reacting to, which might be like Bauhaus, or it might be like brutalism or something. You know, like you might have a better way in if you like can immerse yourself in the stuff first. Yeah, and this is something I do have experience. You know, when you were writing an entertainment piece or an entertainment review, and you're discussing it, part of the reason that why.
But the fact that it's been so long since the last one, I think, helps, and the fact that it is now a part of the MCU, and they can just.
You know, when you were writing an entertainment piece or an entertainment review, and you're discussing it, part of the reason that why just calling it woke.
So
besides, it's kind of dishonest, because you're not really trying to understand, but it's also not very persuasive. This is just one element of this thing. You know, if you really want to break into why this is a good or bad piece of art or entertainment, you need to be able to break into the different elements into it. And just saying, well, I don't like this because it's on their team, that for most people, for the people who aren't listening to talk-wing radio every day, and the people who, you know, they're not checking their favorite gay, bi, POC, X-Men podcast. For most people, they need that.
It's fine. I think it's, you know, the first Deadpool was such a like unique
podcast
for the time.
For most people, they need that. They need the whole enchilada.
More the same. I think they were very, very smart. Even though when I heard that they were bringing back Hugh Jackman, I was like, well, they ended it so.
They're not checking their favorite gay, bi, POC, X-Men podcast. For most people, they need that. They need the whole enchilada. But I often feel like conservative media, especially, but even just normal entertainment reviews, I don't think either of them do this very well anymore. And I think people in the middle, just most normal people, this is probably part of why it feels like there's no engagement. I think that they aren't really being catered to very much.
And they justify him coming back enough for the movie to work.
Well, yeah.
It doesn't feel like it lessens, and this is the thing about the multiverse that's annoying but also makes sense. The idea that this is technically a different Wolverine.
Yeah.
He's from a different universe, so he has different experiences, which means that the sacrifice that Logan made at the end of movie Logan, there's still weight to that. I get it. It is just an excuse to bring Hugh Jackman back.
I think when here's the natural progression of things is the MCU.
Hey Jones Gaming Adventure, how you doing?
From 2008 up until the end of Endgame. 18, 19, something like that. And then now it's 2024, and geez, kids that are like 16, 17 years old have known nothing their entire life but a Marvel universe. Is that weird?
And
they had a great run, and then at some point, like comic books themselves, you start off with a premise and a team, and they do this and that,
and how you're moving forward from
the gas starts to run low. And you got to do something to and that's the multiverse. You got to start doing and then we've been in it with the 3 Spider-Man movie and the Doctor Strange movies, and then
they introduce one nostalgic.
I'm okay. I have a toothache that's giving me a headache, but I am
animated X-Men score
pushing through.
This is probably part of why it feels like there's no engagement. I think that they aren't really being catered to very much.
The episode must be completed.
Exist in the context of all that has been and all that went before you. I mean, this is really like, art exists, makes sense, makes meaning, expresses ideas within a tradition. And once
but it is
there's no engagement, I think that they aren't really being catered to very much.
Well, as Kamala Harris would say, you exist in the context of all that has been and all that went before you. I mean, this is really like, art exists, makes sense, makes meaning.
Like meta on top of meta.
4850.
It's not just like, isn't it neat to see Patrick
well, this episode right here of the Culturescape podcast. This is going to be the 43rd episode of this show that I have edited. In the year and change that I've been working for the good Pete Pischke, USA Today's 4th most popular columnist of 2023.
I think I watched a little bit of it.
Yes, I was right. USA Today's 4th most popular columnist of 2023.
And I think people in the middle, just most normal people, this is probably part of why it feels like there's no engagement. I think that they aren't really being catered to very much.
Well, as Kamala Harris would say, you exist in the context of all that has been and all that went before you. I mean, this is really like, art exists.
I'm wrapping up this stream in probably a few minutes, and I'm going to be starting a gaming stream shortly after that. What's up, Malachi? Yeah, I probably remember you. What did we talk about last time you were here?
Makes meaning, expresses ideas within a tradition. And once again, I come back to my sort of...
I appreciate it, because it's like, okay, yeah, they know that people are going to have a problem with this after they've
art exists, makes sense, makes meaning, expresses ideas within a tradition. And once again, I come back to my sort of perplexity here, because this is a conservative point. Like, I am...
Which stream were you in? Were you in the editing stream or the game stream? Because the game stream, and my memory is a little bit more spotty there. You are playing FNA. Oh, Five Nights at Freddy. Yeah, I didn't get very far in that. I gave up playing that right away, pretty much. Because I thought it was like a mobile game. Like, it would just toss me straight into something where I'm, like, manning the video cameras. But there was all this wandering around. I do remember playing and giving up almost immediately.
Making a point that is, in its ideological structure, like definitionally conservative, that without continuity across time.
I'll come back to it though. There was actually another game I got free through PlayStation Plus that I wanted to try.
This is what I got out of it. When Wolverine died, the good Wolverine.
Yes.
Died with Logan. He
Fell into my chair.
that world went to shit after that.
He was like the anchor of that particular universe.
Yeah, but and then it started to dissolve backwards because it was in the future.
Oh yeah, Logan took place in the future. I guess
They showed the timeline and it was like burning that way, like backwards.
Yeah.
I don't. I just.
It doesn't really matter.
I didn't understand that. And then the Logan that's in the movie.
Yeah, gaming streams on the same channel.
Logan was sitting in that bar from the first X-Men movie.
Everything is on this channel. That's why I have over 2,000 videos on this channel.
Felt guilty, and then that ruined his whole world. So he was basically a drunken, regretful asshole. And then
So he gets an arc, even in this goofy Reverend comedy.
Yes.
They worked in a little arc for him,
Deadpool,
which justifies him being in it as more than just.
yeah,
Look, it's Hugh
more
Jackman's
glorified cameo.
Yeah.
And Deadpool, his arc is he wants to be important and wants to join the Avengers, but he's rejected.
What the fuck is cross out?
That's his arc. He wants to be important. They both want some sort of redemption character-wise, and it works.
They're both in low spots, and they're both rejects.
Yeah.
Not just from the Avengers.
I have no idea what cross out is.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
And that's how they get cast to this purgatory land.
Yeah, it's like a it's interesting. It's a weird like sci-fi. I don't know if it's from any of the.
It looks kind of like a
concept. This sort of like
Twisted Metal knockoff or something.
Time purgatory.
I don't know.
Throw all the rejects that nobody cares about. It's right. My point overall though, and I don't even mean this as a criticism. This is actually kind of a charm of the movie. Is that parts of it felt rather.
I'll probably not play most of these free games that I get. I don't know what this is. This is it, Ender Lies. It looks pretty cute and cool. Let's see if I have enough room to download it.
Your sister runs.
Oh yeah.
There's that one. There's like the city street intersection.
Cool.
Used multiple times.
Hopefully that doesn't take too long,
Climax takes place
and I'll
there.
be able to play that tonight.
But yeah, so there's that neat little like it's clearly a backlot set. So
The backlot street set looked a little cheap, but I was okay with it because it was.
No, that's fine.
It's cute. It's a comedy almost. I guess it is just a straight up comedy, but Wolverine and Deadpool having a fight to the death inside of a Honda Odyssey minivan.
Oh wow, it's downloading fast.
Laughing at that notion.
All right, cool.
Hear someone saying, "Why don't they have their epic fight? That's going to happen. It's not on top of a mountain during a thunderstorm. It's inside of a minivan."
Never mind what, Malachi.
and it's excessively violent.
Oh, because there's someone else here.
The ODYSEE is funny, and same with the ending.
Yeah.
So that's your plot. You got two main characters, Wolverine, Deadpool, and they have their character flaws.
Community and relation to other works of art. Like, nothing makes any sense. The whole point of a Shakespeare sonnet is that there are all of these very minute rules, and people have been doing this basically since Petrarch, and then Wyatt, and then Shakespeare, and now you've got this like one line.
No, the game stream will be
metrical rule
after this.
And if I had to like describe the conservative liberal binary as I understand it in its most raw essence, it would be the liberal is like really interested in pointing out how all the meaning is in
Man, did playing Five Nights at Freddy for 5 minutes bring like new people to the channel?
Breaking the rule only makes sense when the rules have been followed 99.9% of the time for like 100 years, and that's where the meaning comes
Jones,
from.
I might play it.
And all
I
of that
might
stuff.
play Five Nights.
So the conservative side of this
Is that
to
what
say
people want me
you
to
have
play?
understand everything
I don't
about
even
it.
know if I like
It's
that game.
artistic milieu, and you have to
Is this
judge
if it's
things
what the
based
people
on
want?
who they're talking to, when and why, and in what medium, what dialect, and so forth.
The problem with scary games is I don't really play a lot of scary games on here because obviously, like right now, it's 3 in the morning, and scary games make me scream. And when I scream, sometimes it wakes up the neighbor lady across the hall, and then she is unkind to me if I wake her because I'm drunk and screaming at a video game.
To the forms of art that conservatives are most interested in pushing back against, those forms of art are the ones that they're also least interested in engaging a lot of the time. And so modernism is a great example. It's like there's a really broad brush.
Is that the fun of watching people play Five Nights at Freddy because they scream?
If you actually tightened the lens, like a lot of the things that conservatives are saying, I think would still have a point. You know, it is still true, I think, that abstraction is kind of a dead end in art. But it's not true that Picasso isn't doing anything, or that like Joyce has nothing to say, right? Like there's like a lot of hairs to be split before you can really like say this with any power, which would be what it took to move on to like offering an alternative. And you know, I understand like why you say what you say about Louis. Like I have a lot more time for that particular show, but like what you are saying is basically that like this is something that you like. Anything that you make, you can't just plop into the world as if it isn't in relation to like a bunch of other stuff. And like leaving aside that particular show now, like making the conservative version of something that already exists is almost definitionally a bad idea.
Do I know football, American football, or soccer? And no. I don't follow soccer or football nowadays.
Something. I'm gonna make an object that is exactly the same as an object that already exists.
Jones Gaming Adventure. ... Yes.
Like from an artistic standpoint, really unoriginal, right? Like I don't actually think that's what really is. But like leaving that aside for a second, like the conservative version or the conservative answer to Star Trek Discovery ain't gonna cut it. Precisely because taste entails like understanding what's already been done and how you're commenting on it and how you're moving forward from it. And I think, you know.
Okay, that's all the editing I could do for tonight. I'll probably finish this episode tomorrow and Monday. I'll probably need to work on this a little bit on Monday. But that's enough of this for now. I'm going to take a little break, and I will be back with the gaming stream. I'll probably be playing a few different things. I have to get back on God of War, which I've been want to play through. There's also Mad Max, which I started and then stopped playing when First Descendant came out. I'm probably definitely going to play that game I just started downloading, and maybe toss in some Five Nights at Freddy in there as well. Malachi, I will return. It's okay. But yeah. Just give me a little bit. I'm gonna maybe take an ibuprofen for my fucking headache, and then I will return in just a bit. But until then, stay metal and hail Satan. Goodbye.
Like something like my Philly, been known to pop a pilly and cop a check with Billy.
Hit that notification bell, I will return.